Hey everyone, it is Jonathan here at WebWorld, and today is my first collectible review here on the channel. I am going to be taking a look at the Transformers 1 Studio Series Optimus Prime figure. So the Studio Series is something new to me. However, according straight from Hasbro, Transformers Studio Series toys are collectible action figures that feature movie-inspired details and accessories. And as far as details go, I do have to agree and give Hasbro credit where credit is due. The detail in this particular figure is better than just the standard mainline figure, in my opinion. In general, I do have to say that the figure overall is a pretty good match. Both bot mode and alt mode look fairly accurate to our on-screen counterpart, and we'll do those comparison images now here. Of course, there are going to be some differences, but for the most part, I think this does a really good job of bringing that accuracy in figure form. One other thing that I do have to say that I really like about this figure is the joints are stiff. So once he's posed, he is posed. So you don't have to worry about those loose joints. Now, as far as accessories go, Optimus does come with his trusty Energon axe, as well as the Matrix of Leadership, and blaster add-ons for truck mode to recreate some specific scenes from the film here if you would like. So first we're going to take a look at his bot mode, which is by far my favorite mode as far as this figure goes. In general, when I display Transformers, 99% of the time they're not going to be in their alt mode. I pretty much almost always have them in bot mode. And Optimus is no exception, and as far as this figure goes, alt mode is a bit lacking in comparison to bot mode, but I'll get to that here in a minute. Scale-wise, scale is decent, proportions are decent. Obviously, he's got some pegs on his upper thighs here where the forearms clip in during alt mode. But aside from that, not a ton of kibble or extra bits hanging around to detract away from that detail here. The chest piece does open up to reveal the Matrix, and overall, pretty good attention to detail. So before I move on in talking about his alt mode or Cybertronian truck mode, I am going to talk briefly about transformation. Transformation isn't too terrible at all. It's actually fairly straightforward and simple. I think the instructions actually say 20 or 25 steps. Again, just getting back into the Transformers world and not being familiar with the studio series itself, I was actually expecting it to be a lot more complicated than what it ended up being. Overall, as far as transformation difficulty, 0 being you could do it in your sleep, and 10 being a terrible, god awful nightmare. This guy slips in right around, you know, a 3 or 4. That, of course, brings us to his alt mode, which for me is going to be the most disappointing part of this figure. Overall, it looks decent and fairly film accurate, with some minor nitpicks, so to speak. Overall, it's decent enough looking. My biggest issues and nitpicks are on the front of the truck mode here, where you have these gaps in between the very front of the truck and the wheels. You can just see in there, it's blank space. It is required, but it does stick out quite a bit here. The other piece with that is a bit of annoyance is the arms are just kind of out in the open. From a side view, it blends in a bit with the rear wheels and his legs, but from a top-down view, it just sticks out like a sore thumb. Again, overall, this isn't much of a deal breaker for me. However, those are kind of my nitpicks or gripes, if you will, as far as things that stand out and look awkward in alt mode. And aside from those two things, overall, it really looks great. Now, as I mentioned, he does come with 3 accessories. The Energon axe pegs into either hand, and you can simply pose him in a battle mode as you wish here. And it's a pretty simple, easy peg in and out. The blaster add-on for alt mode or Cybertronian truck mode simply just pegs into the front and lets you recreate some of the iconic scenes from the Transformers 1 film. The last accessory is his Matrix of Leadership. It is actually pretty detailed, which I do like, and does fit pretty snug into the chest cavity. If you want to pose him holding the Matrix, good luck. It's very difficult, very annoying, and you need a lot of patience. And to be honest, when I was trying to get this pose, I was running out a bit of that myself. There are some pegs in the hands. He doesn't actually grip it. As you can see on the Matrix there are kind of pegs that stick out a little bit. Those peg into the sides of his hand, and getting it in the right spot where it looks decent enough, as well as holding it as close to a natural position as you can for the pose is quite difficult. So not one that I'm going to be doing ever again probably after this. Overall, I think this is an excellent Transformers figure. Looks great pretty much all around. As I've said, I have some minor nitpicks with alt mode, but bot mode looks great and definitely makes up for those few minor flaws that I mentioned. I think Optimus here is a great addition to anyone's Transformers collection, especially if you enjoyed the Transformers 1 film, which I absolutely loved. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what other figures come out of the studio series from that film. Hey everyone, if you've enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and until next time.